Welcome to episode 16 of the Ringo Report. I'm your host, Brandon Ringo. Thank you so much for watching. This week in Central Arkansas, there's been some cool show announcements, some cool music's been released, and there's also a lot of cool shows happening. One show specifically that's happening tonight, actually it's in Fayetteville, but it's at George's, and it's the band Mets from Seattle playing with Peach Blush. Now Mets is like a really cool, like heavy punk band, more like rock inspired punk band from like Seattle, and the fact that Peach Blush from Little Rock is opening for them in Fayetteville is really, really cool. So that's very exciting show. And then one that's happening here in town, Vandaliers and Taylor Honeycutt are going to be performing at Whitewater Tavern tonight. Happening tomorrow night at Vino's is Club Nevermore's 5th anniversary show, which Club Nevermore is, if you don't know, it's a really cool, it's a goth post-punk dance type event thing. They usually do weekly or monthly events at the Labyrinth here in Little Rock, and so this is their 5th year of existence, and they did one earlier this month at the Labyrinth, and then now they're doing something that's more like a show at Vino's. So it's going to feature some more Clusters of Fornication and Vampire Police, this is like the perfect show to to go to. It's got like goth music, it's got it's just that's the aesthetic, is goth dance. If you like to shake your booty and you like to shake it to music that's very dark and depressing and sounds like Bauhaus, this is your place. Now, have a really another big show that's happening Friday night at the Rev Room is Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Outline in Color, The Espionage Act, and Any Given Room. This is going to be a really cool show because, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus is kind of like a staple of that early 2000s emo, and they're the exact type of band you probably saw 100 times at Warped Tour. So it's very cool that they're coming to Little Rock. And then also I think it's really cool that they're using local bands as support, because that's become kind of a rare thing. It's cool, especially that it's bands like The Espionage Act and Any Given Room. Also happening Friday night, Bailey Bigger and Mark Edward Stewart at Whitewater Tavern. So it's going to be more of kind of like a laid-back indie type country show. So that's happening on Friday night, and then happening Saturday night at Vino's. Tim Capella, the saxophonist from the Lost Boys and Miami Vice and a bunch of other stuff, he's so cool. He's going to be doing a show at Vino's. There's going to be also a DJ set by Retro Nouveau, and it's going to be a really special night. And so that's happening at Vino's. Happening at Grandma Lolly's Party Palace is going to be a cool metal show featuring Dismembered, which is a brand new band. I have a spotlight dropping on them very soon. Also, Burning Genesis is a very new band. These are two kind of up and coming metal bands from the Central Arkansas area. Going to be playing with Arterial Sky, who are some friends of mine, which is a really cool kind of a sludgy rock hardcore influence band where all three of the members, they swap instruments, and they're such a fun show, and so this is going to be a very cool show because it's very much a spotlight on some of the new bands that are popping up in Little Rock, especially the new heavy bands. So so if you're looking for someone you've never heard, this would be a good show. Another cool show happening Saturday night, and one that I'm really excited about, is Destroyer of Light. This really, really badass sludge doom band from Austin. They're on their final tour. They just put out their last ever album, and this is their last tour. And then after this tour, they're breaking up. So they're coming to Whitewater, and they're going to be playing with local bands. Pig Sticker, this is their first show. They're a band from Benton that sounds kind of like I Hate God and stuff, and it's very, very angry and sludgy. Also going to be playing with Pool, kind of a punk band from Conway, with another young up and coming band, and also my friends Direwolf. So Direwolf, they're going to be releasing their new album at this show, and this is one that they recorded at Wolfman Studios, and this is they're such good dudes. I met them randomly at Mutants of the Monster last year, and they invited me to come watch them practice. I watched them practice, and I was blown away. And then they ended up getting their first show, and then I got to help them book a show. And it's so fun watching these dudes do their thing. So this show is going to be really cool. It's going to be happening Saturday at Whitewater. Now, Sunday is a really big show happening at the Hall for metalcore fans. It's Fit for a King, Chelsea Grin, and Kingdom of Giants are all going to be playing at the Hall. happening at Whitewater Tavern on Sunday. The Salty Dogs, Woe Dakota, and Sarah Thomas are all going to be playing. And then at EJ's downtown, it's going to be the Knife Kickers, a band from Connecticut. Also Buckshot Princess, Big Cloud, and Head Empty. So it's going to be a really fun show happening at EJ's. And then on Tuesday night, Adam Fawcett, Guttertown, and William Blackheart are going to be playing at Vino's, which this is kind of a show that's more. So Guttertown is kind of, they've been described as like a cowpunk band from like Arizona. So it's kind of punk, kind of country, which fits in perfectly with Adam Fawcett and William Blackheart. So if you like that type of music, this is going to be a cool show. And then also another kind of I don't know if you call it country or folk or whatever show happening at Whitewater is Adam Carroll and Chris Carroll are both going to be playing. So that's kind of it for the shows that are happening over the next week or so. But some that just got announced that I'm really excited about. One of them is going to be on May 14th. It's Body Box, which is like a Florida death metal band, Corpse Pile, which is also a death metal band from Texas, and then To the Grave, Severe Head Wound, and Zash. They're going to be the local support. So To the Grave has Chris Pierce, one of the TAC wrestlers, in it. And then it's also got like members, I think, of like Scorched Earth and like some other like local bands and stuff. So this will be their first show, and it's just ignorant, beat down, hardcore, basically. And then Severe Head Wound and Zash, you pretty much already know what you're getting from those guys. So that's going to be a really cool death metal show. Another show that got announced that's happening at Full Moon on Full Moon Records in Conway on June 7th is Go for Gold, Diet Sweets, Ginger Giant, Buckshot Princess, and Second Life. This is a really fun like mixed genre show. It's cool seeing a band like Go for Gold playing with a band like Buckshot Princess playing with a band like Second Life, you know what I mean? And then Ginger Giant's got their own thing. So like every band's got their own specific little niche. And so this is going to be also Diet Sweets as well as got their own thing. And so it's going to be a really fun show. And now one that I'm really excited about at the hall is it was announced for September 18th. It's going to be Guar, Brujeria, Brat, and Cancer Christ. I don't know if it's Brujeria or Brujeria, but I absolutely adore that band. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time. I got to see them at Maryland Death Fest back like 10 years ago. It was really cool. I've seen Guar a couple of times, and Guar's live show is just unbelievable. If you buy tickets to Guar, make sure and wear a white t-shirt and thank me. Like, get really close to those cannons and thank me later. It's basically creating your own little art. And so also Brat, this is their return, and I think it's dope because I've seen since I've lived here, Brat has played Whitewater, they've played Vino's, and I think they've played the Rev Room, and so this is now they're playing the hall, and so I think that's really, really cool, honestly, because Brat though they're from like South Louisiana, they've kind of become an honorary Little Rock band, so it's really, really cool seeing them come through on a big national tour. Also the band Cancer Christ is going to be playing, and I recommend at least looking at their song titles. They're very, very entertaining. And then another really big show announcement. So Baroness is going to be playing on June 17th at the hall. This is a show that I'm just okay. So excited isn't actually even really the word, because basically that's the band that I've wanted to see for so long. Their music just consistently gets better and better. Even through tragedy, they managed to actually continue to get better. They've lost members, and their music keeps getting more enjoyable. And now it's like a band that you can hear them on the radio, like on Liquid Metal, and like it fits so perfectly, and it doesn't sound like anything else. And just so it's really cool that they're playing here. You know, I've wanted to see that band, and I always told myself when I lived in Louisiana, I got to see Baroness, and I'm either going to see them in Dallas or I'm going to see them in Little Rock. And so the fact that I'll get to see them in Little Rock is so cool. Something else that I'm really excited about is the release of Go for Gold's new EP. That's one of the first bands that I got to that when I started doing like music journalism here in town, like for heavy hits, I was assigned a song by Gopher Gold, and admittedly at the time I never heard of them, and I ended up it was the song Snow Angels, and I listened to it and I fell in love, and I got to see them live and stuff, and so it's so cool that they finally dropped a new EP. The music they're making, it just keeps getting better and better and more mature, and like this is a band that's preparing themselves for greatness, and it's pretty obvious, you know, and so it's cool that they're able to get some new music out ahead of some of these big shows that they're going to be playing. Also, another thing to be sure and check out is this week's Crashcast episode with my friend Austin Sublet of the bands Coach Light and Wake. Austin is such a cool dude. Actually, meeting to the Monster last year, there was a pedal building class, and I hadn't really met Austin up until that point. And so when we got to build pedals from Frostshine Electronics, me and Austin got to talk, and he was just such a good dude. And then he got on that stage and played with Wake and used a headless guitar, which was unheard of basically for a doom band. And like a lot of people were like, "Whoa!" But like he just absolutely shreds. And so Austin brings that really killer element to Wake, and his band Coach Light is just so good. They're so like progressive and I don't really know exactly what the word is other than just very technical and just very heavy and so yeah, and he's got new music he's been working on. So yeah, Austin's a great dude, and you should definitely check out this episode. Also, please go check out the Ringo Report on Instagram and Facebook. I post spotlights of different bands every day. I started doing it on February 8th, and so far I managed to post one from a different band every day, and my goal is to be able to do it for at least a year. So hopefully by next February, I'll still post interviews every day. So yeah, and just I just appreciate again all your support. If you're watching this right now, I'm just so thankful for you. And please tell your friends, and please go to a show and tip your bartender and try to be a good person. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next week's episode. There's going to be a lot more cool stuff to talk about. Thank you so much.